So hey YouTubers, today we're taking a look at the all-new ATEM Mini by Blackmagic Design, and I just got this in the mail, so this is my first day of actually messing around with it, and I have to say it's really cool. If you wonder about the headphones, it's because I'm going to explain to you my whole little setup here that I got going on and how it all works. I got my headphones going into my, let me switch over here to my back camera. I got my headphones going into my Ninja 2 over here, which is actually recording this whole thing right now. So none of this is actually going to be edited except for my mess ups. I'll cut it off, but everything's going to be done by the switcher. And there's a lot of stuff on there talking about how all this all works. Like you have your let me come up here to my top cam right here. You have your audio inputs, which is basically right here. You have your two ends right here. You can also run audio from each camera. So basically this is camera 1, camera 2, camera 3, and camera 4. And let me turn on my picture over picture. So there I am. Hey. Anyhow, so like camera 1, if you want the audio on, you would just hit on, and the audio from camera 1 would actually be coming into the ATEM Mini. And then same with audio for camera 2 or 3. And you can also set it up so whenever you switch the cameras, the audio will switch with the cameras. So if you have a microphone on camera 1, it'll go to camera 1, the microphone will come on camera 1. If you go to camera 2, which is this camera we're on right now, the audio would switch to camera 2, or camera 3, which is back here, the audio would switch to camera 3 back there. I have my audio coming into audio 1 right here, and basically what I'm doing is I'm going through my little Rhodes, I can't even what they're called, but they're really great little mics, into let me switch over here to my computer, and I will show you right here. It's the Tascam DR60D Mark II. Usually I would actually go through, let me go back over to camera 1. I know I'm still on picture, but turn that off. Usually what I do is I go through a mixer, but today just setting it up, I didn't want to tear my whole PA apart or my studio apart to get a mixer. So actually the mixer coming here, it'll be here on Monday. It's just for my live streaming system, but so I just do this on here for right now, but it works great. I mean, I can actually record audio in the Tascam and also into the Ninja too. But how I have it set up is I have my my little Rhodes mic right here on my collar, plugged into the Tascam. Tascam coming out into input 1, which is right here. So if I bring that over here, there's input 1. It's all nice and lit up. And then I have, and then from there I have my HDMI out, which is right here, going out to the Ninja. I'm back here at this camera. So back out to the Ninja. The Ninja is recording, and then on channel 4, on 4, I don't have a camera hooked up. I have it feeding through my MacBook. So if I actually come back over here to channel 1, maybe you'll see it. So right here I have a little adapter coming out of my MacBook to an HDMI cable that's feeding it back around into channel 4. So if I hit channel 4, camera 4, that is the screen of my MacBook. And I can go over here to the ATEM Mini software. And if I want to do picture on picture so you guys can see me, I can just turn it on and boom, actually, move myself around. Show you how we're doing that. Go back over to camera 2. Right here, it has picture on picture, and you can basically put that any place you want to go, which is pretty cool. Now, you can actually change the size of it too. So if I come over to my software, you have to have it hooked up to the software to actually change the size of that. And you'd go over here to your panel right here, and I would just make this bigger. Whoops, I'm moving it the wrong way. I can actually make it bigger. There you go. Move it over. Now the only thing is when I switch that, if I go back over here, when I switch it over to here, say I go to, I want to put it on the, I guess be my left, your guys' right, it's going to get small again. And then if I go back to where I was at, it's going to be small again. So that is one little problem I see with this, but You know, most of the time if you're doing a tutorial, you're gonna have yourself parked in one area. You can make it bigger. I don't really see that big of an issue considering how cheap this unit is. But so I have camera 1 plugged into input 1, which my camera 1's my front camera right here. Let me kill the front. Camera 1's there. Camera 2 is right here over facing my my Mini, and camera 3 is back here, and then camera 4 is of course a screen of my laptop. So if I go through this really quick, it's like disco but different. So I'm gonna have to sip my coffee here real quick. But then I just popped right out of my mouth. But what's cool about it is actually the way they have this whole thing set up. If you have it hooked into the software through basically a USB right here, plugged into here, you can come over here. So this is your first panel. Let me go back over to my computer, and I'll give you my little shiny face on here. Yeah, I'll bring you over this side. All right, so anyhow, the software, when you have it plugged in and you called up, after you install it, what's really cool is if you have Adobe Photoshop put into or installed in your computer, it automatically puts a plug-in on Adobe Photoshop. So when you go to build lower thirds, the ATEM Mini actually just sees the lower thirds automatically and drop it in, and it kills the background. So if I go over here and say I want to add I have a lower third already put in here for a client for a client I'm working with, and nothing sexual in your window there at all. It's just a client I work with. Anyhow, so I click auto. Now you see a nice little lower third come on, boom, and I can put his name, you know, on there in post or actually in Adobe, and then it'll nice fade out. It doesn't matter what camera I'm on, you know, I can bring that up or make it go away. You know, so it's really cool, and all you do is basically go over to media, grab it out of a folder. So it's right here, and basically you just drag it over and drop it into these open areas. And then when you're ready, if you want to use that particular lower third, you just drag it down here and drop it in there, and then that moves us over to media 1. So now you see how that moved to 1 right here. Or if I grab this one and move it over there. Now that's 1, because with the ATEM Minis, you only have media 1, which is basically how you get your lower thirds to show up. So if I come over here and I go to downstream, you can see that's how you get your lower thirds into right here. Is you want that, you gotta go over here and click on your downstream, select media 1 player here, and then media player 1 key here. And then if you hit auto on the software, it'll show up there. Now on this, somehow, if I hit the on button here, that's supposed to bring it up too, but actually I won't do that with that on. So if I hit the on button, but right now it's kind of not showing up in the right area. So let me go back over here. Yeah, it kind of shows up. Anyhow, that's the user default. That's not the machine's default. So eventually I'll figure out how to get that to work towards actually this button. But right now, the auto right here works fine for my needs. And eventually I'll figure out how to get that button to work right after I read the actual directions. So far, I have read no directions, but it's pretty self-explanatory in how you set this thing up. But one thing I do want to show you real quick, because I had a really hard time trying to figure out how to even get, because I was dragging PNGs into here. And basically what you do is you open up Photoshop, call it Photoshop here real quick, come back over here. All right, so I'm back. Okay, so if I go over here and open up Photoshop, and I open up basically a lower third design. A lower third design. When you install the Blackmagic software, the Blackmagic software controller, it automatically installs a plugin on your Photoshop, and all you have to do is basically go down here and go to Export, and then you go to the Switcher Media Pool, and it calls up this little thing with your IP address. And then you already have it exported over there, but basically it'll just say export, and you export it to the folder you want it to go to, and now it'll call up in the ATEM Mini. If you try to drag a PNG over here, it will not work. You have to actually install have their plugin installed, and then it'll export it as, you know, a readable document. And then when you drop it on there, then of course, if you go back over and hit auto, it'll bring up a lower third. That was one little snag I had, was trying to figure out how to get that lower third in. And that is what you need to do. You need to install it with Adobe Photoshop installed. And when you do that, it'll put in this little software to where if you go to export, you'll actually have this option here for the switcher media pool. And then you can actually export it out to where it's a readable document for, you know, lower thirds, or just if you're doing a blog and you want to have a image come up, you know, before the blog or after the blog, you know, then that's how the ATEM Mini is going to read it. Actually, a full image, it'll work. It's just if you're trying to do like a lower third, a full image, you can actually drag a full image over there and use the PNG, and, you know, if you're going to black out the whole screen, that works fine. All right, so by the way, I did have to switch mics because my battery died. I didn't charge my little Rhodes mic, so I'm now on a wired lav. So if the audio sounds a little bit different, that's why. But let me go back to the software over here. One of the things I really like about the software is before I would have to, you know, when I was shooting, let me go back over here to camera 1, kill that. So when I was shooting, I would have to record everything onto the Tascam, which I still do for a backup, and then import them all into my editing software, which either, you know, Premiere Pro or Final Cut. You know, use both of them, and then I have to master the audio there. So what I really liked about this, and just, you don't have to use this with the software. I just prefer to, because it's already hooked up my computer anyhow, because I'm going to be mainly using it for streaming and that type of stuff. And as you click on audio on the software, and come back over here to 4. So it's on the switcher software. If I go over here to audio and click on that, you can see you basically have a whole little mixing console here, but they already have plugins in. So if I click on this is the EQ for the mic, go up here and change that. And I mean, it works pretty good. So I'm sure you heard that in there, and I'm sure it was really irritating, you know. And then of course I have a compressor on here going on my vocals right now, with a expander, which basically I have it more of a sort of a kind of a soft gate than an expander, just because there's some background noise in this room from a overhead heater, and it's a large room. So anyhow, and then on my master bus, which is right here, I actually have a limiter. So, you know, I'm limiting it at minus 10 dB, just to kind of give it that full mastering. So I have yet to actually listen to the audio, except for a little tiny test, but it sounded really good, where I didn't have to actually, I'm hoping and thinking to myself, I'm not going to actually have to master anything in post. I can just run this out, cut out the mess up. So I might have to boost the level a little bit, just to make sure I'm hitting just like right below -1. That's why I have this limiter here at minus 10, so I can boost that in post. And then, you know, just be done, you know, with the 3-camera shoot, or 3-camera shoot and, you know, computer. Whatever going on. I'm not talking with this on. So like a, you know, 3-camera shoot and a computer going on over here on the side. But I mean, this thing works flawlessly. Right now I have it in a little fade mode. If you see how that is, where the camera's fading in at like like a half a second fade. And if you look right here, you can switch the fade. So I have it in a mix mode. You can have it in a dip. You know, they have all your different effects right here. So if I go over here now, kind of dips to white, you can change the color in the software. If I go here and go back, it'll slide. It's kind of cheesy, so I'd never use that, but you can do it if you want, or you can go up the top. You know, that's really a cheesy effect, but it is there, you know. Yeah, I really like mix at 5, but it'll do 2-second mix too if I want to go and do a nice real slow fade. or, basically you can do that. You can also do it manually from the software. So if I go back over here to 4 and I click on the switcher, then you can actually do it manually right here, which is pretty cool. But I really don't ever see that, because mainly the stuff I'm going to be doing is using it for live streaming clients and myself, and doing tutorials, that type of stuff. So bring myself back on here. But anyhow, yeah, so like I said, it's all based in it's very compartment, can't even say it, compartment. Forget it. It's in its own compartments. Sorry, too much coffee today. So you have your audio up here, basically, for your audio 1 and 2. This is audio 1, audio 2. Your cameras have all its audios, and you can even go up and down in volume on the audio here, or you can reset it or turn it on or off. So if I go over here, and actually I'm going to switch to my camera 1 just so you can hear the audio. So, all right, so this is, that's camera 1. I don't know if you can hear it yet, because it's kind of a weird test, but that's all the way over about 5 feet from me, and that's camera 1's audio. Or I can go to, that's camera 1 and camera 2, which is, this is camera 2, so if I turn camera 1 off, now I'm on just camera 2, which is right next to my face and probably really loud. I can turn that. And this is camera 3, which is right back here, and camera 3 and 2 are just Sony a6000s, so they're okay cameras. I'm going to go back to my mic. All right, so this is back to my mic, and my mic is the only one with the EQ and stuff on it, so those probably sounded really bad, and we'll find out when I can hear on my headphones. By the way, that's why I have the headphones on. I have my headphones going into the Ninja, or actually out of the Ninja. Let me come back over here, you can see me, out of the Ninja, and that way I can hear the audio. So when I actually mastered it, I can hear it. So that, when I'm doing tutorials and stuff, I definitely probably won't have the headphones on, but this is kind of my setup for clients when I'm doing live feed for clients, or like probably I'll be using this for Heartbreaker, where they do a 3-camera shoot, and it'll cut down on some of my editing time if I can just do the editing right there as they do it, because it's all pretty much go, and they might have a few mess ups, but I can cut those out in post. But anyhow, so I have the audio coming out of the Ninja, which is feeding from the exact audio from this mixer right here. So I can hear all the adjustments in the EQ and everything, which is really nice. And I actually had this hooked up through my board, which is a, oh my God, Behringer X18 Air, which are all Midas Breeze. So it sounds really good. But the only thing is when you change the effects on the board, you can't really hear it in your headphones, because you don't know what's actually hitting tape. You just know what's going through the mixing board. So it might sound good in the mixing board, but you can't really tell what's hitting tape without this software. With this software, I can read all the meters. I can see that we're in a good area where we're not peaking, we're not too low, we're good. Plus I'm actually hearing the audio that's actually going to tape with effects that are just going right to tape, which I thought was just brilliant from the guys over at Blackmagic. But all in all, I mean, there's tons of tutorials on there to show you, what different things like auto and cut and all that kind of stuff is. But I just want to give you my first, come back over here to camera 1 and turn that off, give you my first look and what my thoughts were of this ATEM Mini, because it's like $299. And I mean, I already have I just got it in the mail, and I just started telling people about it. And I've already got probably 5 gigs lined up, and I'm just going up, setting up, giving them the raw footage. They can cut the front and back off. I'm there for probably 2 or 3 hours, and I'm, getting anywhere between $400 or $500. And all I gotta do is set my cameras up. So I got, 30 minutes of that with this little setup in the background, shoot them, pull out my drive, stick that on their computer. They cut the front and the back off, do whatever they want. They have the basic edit. Okay, another feature that's really great about this Blackmagic Mini switcher that's just insane, that was like my number one thing of actually picking it up, is live streaming. I mean, you can actually go through any of the live streaming software, including Skype and Zoom and all that kind of stuff, but also with Facebook and YouTube and that kind of stuff. I mean, it's as easy as going over to YouTube. Let me go back over my screen here, turn my little mug back on. I'm going to go over on this side, and I can just go to here and go live. And yes, I'm going to go test. I'll make this private. Let's scroll down. And right here, it's going to ask me what I want to use for a web camera. And it's already on there, Blackmagic Design. So basically, you pull this down, I can either do my FaceTime camera, which is like there. If you look at me in the background, that's my computer camera. Or if I click over here, I'll just go to Blackmagic Design. And I'm going to take the mic, and I'm going to take the mic down to Blackmagic Design, and I'm going to click next, and it'll take me off there in a second, hopefully. Anyhow, now I can just click go live. Now it's going to go live privately, and what I'm doing right now on this recording, I'm live on Facebook, or I'm live on YouTube. There we go. So if I go back over here to YouTube, actually let me share that link. There it is, live, and it's private, so no one else is seeing it except for me. Wow, that's a trip. Anyhow, yeah, we're live, and it's that easy. So I'm gonna go over here and end that. End the stream, end it. So anyhow, it's just such a great design. That's kind of my first initial look at this and how I'll be using it, just to kind of give you a good, a rough way of how I have this set up. Like I said, I have camera 1 into input 1, camera 2 into input 2, camera 3 into input 3. I have this little dongle coming out of my computer to have an HDMI on it, and that's into input 4. And then I have the HDMI out going into my Ninja 2. And my Ninja 2 is awesome, but before it gets there, it actually goes through Blackmagic Design, through the software on my computer. I can re-EQ it, and then it goes back into the Ninja 2, and that just automatically happens. There's no magic trick that happens. It just goes when the cameras come into here, or the audio comes into here. If you have the software open, you can do all your EQing, that kind of stuff. It comes back out of this HDMI into your recording device. It doesn't have to be an Ninja 2. It can be Blackmagic or whatever other external recording device, or just live stream. You don't even have to have an external recording device. You can just have if you want to monitor, you can just have this external come out and have a TV screen. It also, there's settings for live streaming for video game players, but I don't do that. So that's kind of, there's other tutorials and that kind of stuff on YouTube, and this isn't really a tutorial. It's just kind of my feedback. But for $299 and you're doing this kind of work, it's so easy and it's so simple. And even if you're a big company, I could definitely see getting one of these just to have in your arsenal for small events, where people maybe don't have the budget, or maybe you just don't have the time to set up a big, huge thing. And because what they're wanting is what this does, then I think it's perfect for you. For even larger events, like one of the events I have come up is a pretty good size event, and I'm going to do it because I know this thing will handle what they're wanting done. They just want some camera switching done and a video to show their corporation at the end. How easy is that? So anyhow, it'll work perfect. They want 3-camera shoot, and they want to be able to do a PDF document or something on their computer where they can have that and picture on picture. This thing does all that. So I can do all that there. I'm getting paid for it. I'm happy. For tutorials, if you're doing a 3-camera shoot or a 2-camera shoot tutorial, plus maybe something on your laptop, this thing's perfect for that. Sure saves on editing time. If I would have had this when I've done what we're doing my master classes for my Ableton Live backing tracks, wow, it would have just saved me days of editing, because I would have just had it done because of this thing. So I'm really psyched about it, and they did not send me this for free at all. I had to buy this. But yeah, if you're in the market for one of these things, $299, you can't beat it. All right, guys, hope this video helps you out in your decision making, and make sure you like, subscribe, and comment, and go check out my band's YouTube channel at youtube.com/FOJCTV. FOJCTV. Yeah, and see some more videos over there. Great stuff. I know, I did it. Joking. Anyhow, see you next time. Out.
Action.